Tonight on News 5 Live, Prime Minister John Briceño prepares for a weekend visit to Mexico to discuss Belize's energy crisis. PM Briceño and BEL reps will meet with the Mexican president and CFE. Another utility headache. Belize district goes almost 12 hours without running water. And government response to Belize being described as a narco state. These stories and more coming up on News 5 Live.
For 19 years, SMART has been the pulse of our nation. A journey of growth, innovation, resilience, and unity.
From the first call that bridged distances to the data that brought us closer than ever, SMART has been there, weaving threads of connection across our beautiful land.
We have been active in providing innovative solutions to enhance our customers' lifestyles. Over the years, SMART has developed and provided various services to meet customers' needs.
To the dreamers, doers, and the believers, thank you for making SMART a part of your story. For 19 years of trust, loyalty, partnership, and shared experiences.
As we celebrate 19 years of connecting lives and dreams, let's keep the rhythm alive. Together, let's continue to shape our future one connection at a time.
Come and be a part of the SMART family, where we empower you and our country today, tomorrow, and beyond.
SMART, bringing people together.
Watch The Truth of God with Pastor Gino Jennings of the First Church of Our Lord Jesus Christ every Sunday morning at 8 a.m. exclusively on Channel 5 Belize. The Truth of God with Pastor Gino Jennings every Sunday at 8 a.m. on Channel 5 Belize.
I'm David Humes. This is Vanessa Humes. We own Littleville Cool Spot. Belize Bank save us a lot of time. Working with them, we can keep track exactly what we spend. We recommend Belize Bank 100% because we don't have to go to stand up in line, and we can check on our account right from our house. Working with Belize Bank is the best.
Discover a shopping experience like no other at the V Department Store. They carry a vast array of products at unbeatable prices. Elevate your shopping journey with affordability, diversity, and accessibility at the V. Conveniently located at 1745 Coney Drive in Belize City.
Global rise in temperatures due to climate change increase the severity of dry weather conditions experienced in Belize. Forest fires, dust buildup, and contamination of our power lines can result in power interruptions. At BEL, we continue to do our part to minimize the impacts of challenging weather conditions and improve the reliability of our power line system. You can help. Report forest fires or damaged power line structures using our BEL 24/7 app or call us at 0800 BEL Care. That is 0800 235 2273. We continue to serve you.
Good evening. Welcome to News 5 Live for Friday, May 10th. I am Annalyn Apolonio. Tonight, we begin our newscast once again with coverage of Belize's ongoing energy crisis and how BEL intends to improve the situation in the days ahead. As Prime Minister John Briceño indicated on Thursday, BEL's mandate is to transmit and distribute energy across the country. With the outages that have been occurring for more than a week, the utility company is struggling to keep Belize electrified, particularly with the intense heat that has led to increased consumption. Mexico has had its own challenges in meeting its energy consumption demands, and usually when that happens, it's Belize that is the first to get disconnected. News 5 sat down today with the Minister of Energy, Michelle Shebat, to hear the short-term and long-term solution to the power calamity, as small businesses that have taken to social media to launch tirades against the electricity company. Marian Ali reports.
These complaints about the frequent power outages and how they have negatively impacted the course of business or inconvenienced others are plastered all over Facebook and under Belize Electricity Limited's posts. Minister of Energy, Michelle Shebat, explained to News 5 that the existing power crisis resulted from two events that coincided.
Two critical things have happened that are causing the load shedding that we have been experiencing over the last 2 weeks. First of all, BL brought down its GT plant at mile 8.5 for upgrading, right? And unfortunately, they brought it down at a time when Mexico decided to bring us down to zero, all right? And so those factors coincided, and this is the consequence of what you're now seeing.
BEL Chairman Andrew Marshalek says that if electricity rates were higher, Belize would not be in the current position.
Keeping rates artificially low has contributed to the problems we find ourselves in, because you can't have a reliable transmission and distribution system and reliable generation if the environment for earning from that is not what it needs to be. You can't. It's making blood out of stone. It doesn't work that way. You can't have the redundancies in the system that are needed to give you the reliable system that you demand at 40 cents a kilowatt hour. You don't. There are certain realities, and when you insist that that is the charge that will be levied, and we go forward with that, you go forward with that by foregoing some of the things that you need to do in order to make it reliable.
But we should not be seeing this problem for much longer. Marshalek explains that while the Mile 8 gas turbine's capacity is being upgraded and its input is gradually being increased, it should be working to full capacity by Monday.
The turbine used to give 19 megawatts of power, and we've made some upgrades to it so that it gives 30 megawatts of power. So there is an additional 11 megawatts of capacity that will be introduced once that project is complete. Now we've been rushing to complete it because we're so short of power. So everything has been running at double pace, double time to get it going, and we have it going. The machine was started, it's running. I think last night it gave 15 megs for some 6 hours. It got up to 20 megs, and then there were some issues, some alarms, some tripping. So those bugs have to be worked out, and they are being worked out. We expect that to be done by this weekend. So you'll have the 30 megs from that plant available to us. And with that 30 megs and the other supply sources, it should be just barely enough to meet demand.
According to Shebat, Belize's energy consumption demands resulted from a rapid growth of economy, which surpassed BEL's predictions. But that with the passage of two important pieces of legislation, the Public Utilities Commission can now create other sources of energy generation opportunities for the medium to long term.
A new licensing legislation that opens up the energy market for new entrants. And so, for example, people who are now interested in putting up solar farms are able to do so. People who are using solar panels on their homes are now going to be able to sell into the grid. That is an important legislation we just passed, and we just passed the RFP legislation. And through that legislation, now the PUC will be able to reach out to the public and invite independent power producers to make proposals for the creation of new energy sources for the country.
The legislations that were passed affords power producers that use any energy source to make bids to the government to sell energy. And when that comes on stream, the minister said that the capacity that will provide us should make us more self-sufficient.
We're talking wind, we're talking solar. There are some people who are interested in hydro. So we're looking what we're trying to accomplish. We want to make sure that Belize becomes independent, meaning that we are able to satisfy. Right now we're talking about 125 megawatts we're looking at. We need to grow that beyond the 125 to be able to have some redundancy, right? But we also want to make sure that we have reliable sources of energy. Certainly you've heard about the 60 megawatts that we have been talking with the Saudis about. Those hopefully will be coming on stream within the next year or two. And that would add 60 more megawatts. We're looking at 40 megawatts of battery storage, which we're working on, and we're expecting that that will come on stream by the end of 2025 or the beginning of 2026. And so that there is a plan moving forward.
Reporting for News 5, I'm Marion Ali.
As we've reported, Prime Minister John Briceño is headed to Cancun, Mexico on Saturday following an official funeral for former Toledo East Area Representative Mike Espat. The purpose of the weekend visit is to meet with Mexican officials in an effort to resolve the energy crisis that has gripped the country over the past 2 weeks. Accompanying him for the meeting are officials from Belize Electricity Limited. When we spoke with PM Briceño earlier today, he shared his optimism that CFE will be able to provide Belize with at least 60 megawatts of power.
PM, you're heading to Mexico once again this weekend to meet with CFE representatives regarding our current energy crisis. Is there any optimism on your end that you will be able to return with something favorable for us as consumers?
I'm very optimistic and excited about what can be accomplished. I think the most important thing is that I believe at this point, I spoke with CEO Mencias yesterday, we managed to get the Mile 8 on the Western Highway generator going. Once that is working well, we'll be able to barely hold on, but we'll be able to be well with our energy needs. We'll be able to meet them. And when we get the San Pedro 21 megawatt generator going, that then will also ensure that we can be self-sufficient. But let us not forget that when we connect to CFE, there are certain hours of the day, like especially like around 2 or 3 o'clock in the morning, we can get energy at 2 cents and 3 cents per kilowatt. So the plan is we are going to ask CFE if they could increase the maximum that they can sell to Belize. Presently, it's at 55 megawatts, and we're hoping that we'll get at least to 60. Because when they can give us a 60, because it's cheaper, we buy from them, and then when it's more expensive, then we could switch over. So it's a matter of being that balancing act to ensure that we could get the best possible price for our consumers.
Belize's high energy demand is the result of a growth spurt that has surpassed the existing supply that is being fed to the national grid. It's a gift and a curse. While the economy continues to grow, the need for additional energy is not being met. Here's the Prime Minister on the pending solar alternative.
What has happened to both the Yucatan Peninsula and to Belize, that, for instance, we are victims of our success. Our economy has been growing so fast that it has been difficult for BL to be able to keep up with the energy use of the country. We are presently using the projections of 2028. That's where BL expected, and in 2028 we're going to be. Here we're in 2024. Our government, from the day we got in, we're starting to looking at, we knew this was coming. We did not expect it was going to happen in 2024. And so we've been working on other projects, solar in particular, and a battery, about a 45 megawatt battery storage with the World Bank. With the Saudis, when we spoke to them, and they immediately said, yes, we prepared to lend 77 million, I think, US dollars. Once they approve that, they don't write you on check. Then we have to come up with the actual designs and the place we're going to put it. The area has been identified. It's going to be in Bomba, that's by the Mascal area. And we expect that by July, August of next year, the first 20 megawatts is going to be online. Now BEL's challenge is to ensure that they continue to work on improving their transmission lines.
The entire Belize city was shut off from access to running water from early afternoon on Thursday all the way into Friday morning. When the water began flowing once again on Friday morning, it was only to some homes and the water pressure was extremely low. This morning, the Belize Water Services Limited notified its customers in Belize City that the water pressure would remain low up until 6 p.m. for the entire city. Residents in Ladyville and Lord's Bank were also affected, though the outage was not as extensive for most of those residents. The issue, according to a release from BWSL, was a break on the 24-inch main service line that provides water to Belize City. According to BWSL, the leak was caused by ongoing power fluctuations. They explained that the fluctuations inadvertently created a 23-foot break in the service line. According to BWSL, crew members worked through the night to fix the pipe and restore water. This morning, we visited the location where the work was being conducted. We also spoke with a couple residents.
It just bust and start spraying by itself. Yeah, but that's it. All I say.
How flooded was the area?
Why am I flooded with you? Actually, all of we material right now. If you need to work over, so right now, for we sun, whole sun wash right? So much pile of sun. I don't know if you see it about there. Yeah. Whole sun wash everything. Right now, we need to go deliver sun. Right now, we can't do that. To me, they do a good job, man. They come quick, they response quick, kind of thing. They can what? They take. And I say, must say, hour for all the chuck, everything they come and start work. To me, they do a good job. It don't really affect me, you know, but I'm having to buy what? Water, refill water. That I used to be in. That's it right there because I drink crystal water. It doesn't really affect me now.
So you showered with crystal water?
Refill water, no crystal refill. Yeah, $3.
So it was a desperate.
Yes, man, for beer, what? You see what? They kind of work with out alone, black cement, everything, dust, and if you go beer.
Yesterday afternoon, the water went off, like sometime after 1. And then we realized here at the gas station that they had a pipe that broke, I guess, below ground, right in front of the restaurant Fine Dining. And the management and supervisor reached out to the boss and they called the BWS truck and they came and they started working on the issue.
How much water was coming out from underground at that time?
Missed a whole lot because the entire front of the restaurant was flooded and then the water came adjacent to the street, adjacent from the restaurant, and it went down to the back alley. So it was a lot of water. I live in upstairs out at Lord Bank. When I got home from work, man, I was so tired. I wanted to take a shower, but I wasn't able to take a shower because we didn't have any water, so I had to wait until late yesterday evening to take a shower.
When we caught up with Chandra Cancino, the Chief Executive Officer at the Carl Kushner Memorial Hospital earlier today, we asked her if BEL's load shedding and BWSL's water situation have had any negative impacts on the hospital's services. She says the utility companies prioritize the healthcare facilities, ensuring that they remain with light and water for as long as possible under any circumstance.
The load shedding, minimally, I must say that the BEL does treat the hospital with priority, and so we are usually the last to go off and the first to come back in a countrywide scenario. And when we have the shedding, it's very infrequent for Carl Kushner. So we do have our backup system as well, and so they communicate with us and to ensure that we are prepared during these times. So we're very grateful for that. In regards to the water, we haven't had any severe impacts. We had a low pressure yesterday, but today so far so good, so we're keeping our fingers crossed.
And all of this is important, I would imagine, for you all because of the work you do here.
Of course, electricity, we have our ICU, we have our patients on our ventilators, both are very, very important for us, and so we're grateful that we are prioritized by the utilities and they keep us informed. So I think that's the best we can ask for until everything is regularized again.
Coming up, Chinese businessman charged with obtaining property by deception.
Hello, friends. I'm Dr. Bob Roberts with another 60-second sermon from God's Word. The Bible says in Proverbs, "A man that hath friends must show himself friendly." The Baron Bliss Lighthouse in Belize City reminds me of a lady by the name of Florence Martis, who was born in 1868. She was the unmarried sister of a lighthouse keeper in Savannah, Georgia. Day and night for 45 years, Florence would go down to the waterfront near the old lighthouse and wave a welcome to every ship entering the harbor. Sailors lined the rails to watch for the person who was always there to greet them, waving her apron in the daytime and her lantern at night. Thousands of strangers from around the world had their homesickness erased by Florence Martis, who became known as a waving girl. Because of the friendship and goodwill she shared, the city of Savannah, Georgia built a statue in her honor. Our world would be a much better place today if there were more people like Florence Martis. Why not share a little kindness with a stranger today? In so doing, you will gain friends and be a lighthouse pointing others to Christ. Today's 60-second sermon has been presented by Christian Foundations of Faith in cooperation with the Baptist churches in your area.
Well, sir, I really did go through some stress with my barber. This man here, they push my hairline way back to the 90s. Sure. People, they call me BB Buck Farid now.
So I got a problem, right? I just do this photo shoot, and I want the best photo shoot. But somebody don't want me to post it up. I just tired of this, man.
I don't want to tell her to catch me on my way. I stopped at the shop and tell the lady I want $5 tacos. You could imagine when you give me? No. Paper.
What the your problem?
Honestly, life good for me over here. I just upgraded to the Digi1 Elite. I have unlimited postpaid plans, Digi TV, free home phone, and the fastest home internet.
I going to upgrade mines now.
This Mother's Day, give that special mom in your life the gift of rebirth by renovating and redefining that special space. With some help from Brother Sabet, you can turn any room into mom's special place. That's why we're offering the mother load of discounts all month with 15 to 30% off all things Moen, 20% off Penta Decon paint, and 25% off Valspar and Dutch Boy paints. 15% off Sunlight windows and doors, 20% off mirrors and Eureka vats, and much more deals on our clearance display. So this Mother's Day, give mom the gift she truly deserves from Brothers Habet. Come in or reach out to us today. Happy Mother's Day to all the super moms out there.
We all know about the phasing out of single-use plastics and the enactment of pollution from the plastics regulations. One of the key components in this regulation states that for an item to be considered biodegradable, it must consist of more than 50% of bio-based content. Here, you will find out how the Department of the Environment determines what items meet the criteria and what equipment is being used to guide that process.
Since 2019, the Department of the Environment has been working with CFAS in doing microplastics. Through this project, CFAS has donated 2 microscope Fourier transform infrared spectroscopy equipment to strengthen capacities on monitoring and enforcement to reduce marine litter and plastic pollution. The FTIR can be used to identify unknown materials. The Department of the Environment will use the equipment to determine the composition of single-use plastics and biodegradable products to enforce the environmental protection, pollution from plastics regulations.
While we have a long way to go with the implementation of the pollution from plastics regulation, having this equipment is one step closer. For more information on what's being done about biodegradables and ways you can help, Visit our website at www.doe.gov.bz.
The People's United Party government has taken grave offense to the opposition leader declaring Belize a narco state. In our last interview with Shine Barrow 1 week ago, he criticized the Briceño administration for the manner in which it is handling the threat of narco-related violence in northern Belize. In his diatribe, Barrow went as far as describing the country as a narco state, raising the ire of many, including Prime Minister John Briceño and Foreign Minister Francis Fonseca.
It was reckless of the leader of the opposition, and the people that are putting those ads, it's reckless on them because they are not affecting the government, they are affecting Belize. We are nowhere close to being a narco state, and they know it, but they're trying to get some kind of political support. What they're doing is that people are getting turned off by them with that kind of behavior. So I condemn that in the strongest way possible.
I think that's absolutely reckless. It's irresponsible. It's pathetic. There are so many other adjectives that I could use, but it's certainly absolutely disappointing, and I think it reflects very poorly on him. This is our country. Belize is absolutely not a narco state. We know what narco states look like. If you have any idea about foreign policy and you have any understanding of national security issues, you would know what a narco state is. We have seen those in Latin America and parts of Central America as well. So Belize is not there, and we absolutely are committed to doing everything we can to ensure that, as we keep saying, that no narco trafficking organization gains a foothold in this country. So I think, I condemn in the strongest possible terms the leader of the opposition.
He was the man that filed a statement and provided material evidence to the police that ended with the conviction of attorney Oscar Salgado, who is awaiting sentencing for abetment to commit murder. Today, it is that man, 30-year-old Giovanni Ramirez, who was arraigned for being a member of a gang. Martinez, a resident of St. Pite Village, Stan Creek District, is accused of being a member of the Bacalan Crips. Ramirez pleaded not guilty when he appeared in court today. He asked permission to speak and told the sitting magistrate that his arrest stemmed from a vehicle that he bought from a policeman. According to Ramirez, they took his vehicle, which he claimed he had for 2 years, and then 4 days later, police came and arrested him, and then he was charged with being a member of a gang. Ramirez asked what his vehicle had to do with his arrest, but the magistrate told him she cannot answer or address his question, as only the charge for being a member of a gang is before her. Ramirez was denied bail and was remanded to the Belize Central Prison until July 24th. It was a statement made by Ramirez that led the Crown to seal the conviction of Salgado for abetment to murder Marilyn Burns. Ramirez had told police that Salgado paid him to carry out a hit on Burns. Ramirez never showed up in court to testify against Salgado, but his statement was admitted into evidence in the trial against Salgado. It was alleged that Ramirez had recorded meetings he had with Salgado. 21-year-old Jastar Wasani Gonges is free of the November 1st, 2021 murder of Sean Robert Palacio, also known as Ras Sean. The case ended in a nolle prosequi when the main witness was too afraid and asked if the state can protect her. But when she was informed that there is no witness protection system in Belize, she chose not to testify in the matter. Gonges spent 2 years, 6 months on remand. He was arrested and charged with Palacio's murder on November 18, 2021, 17 days after the fatal shooting. On November 1st, 2021, 40-year-old Sean Robert Palacio was gunned down while walking on Mud Street on the Jane Usher Boulevard area in Belize City. In 2021, Palacio's murder came as a shock to his community, as he was not known to be involved in any violent activities. A Chinese businessman is in trouble with the law after a fellow comrade alleged that he was conned out of almost $250,000 worth of drinks. Owner of Rich's Supermarket Limited and Island City Supermarket Limited, 37-year-old Wen Yuen Zhen pleaded not guilty to the charge today and was offered bail of $10,000. The court prosecutor, Corporal Humbert Ayala, had heavy objections to bail, including that he is a flight risk since he is just a naturalized Belizean and not a born Belizean. Furthermore, Ayala argued that there are no documents before the court to substantiate that Zhen has ties to Belize. But Zhen's attorney, Emmanuel Williams, submitted to the court that Zhen is a businessman with several properties in Belize and has no problem surrendering all his travel documents to the court with any necessary company documents to show his ties to Belize. According to Williams, Zhen has been doing business in Belize for over 17 years and that he has brought a civil suit against the virtual complainant. The magistrate offered Zhen bail of $10,000 plus one surety of the same, or two sureties of $5,000 each. It is alleged that when dishonestly obtained an assortment of drinks belonging to Caribbean International Brewery, all to a total of just under $250,000. According to police reports, on December 2, 2022, the other Chinese businessman, 62-year-old Kevin Sin of Carmelita Village, Orange Walk, and director of the Caribbean International Brewery Limited, reported to them that between April 6, 2022 and August 5, 2022, he sold an assortment of alcoholic drinks to Zhen. He said that Zhen paid with 2 Atlantic Bank checks, which the bank later informed him could not be processed because a stop order had been made by another person. He said Zhen told him he would check on it, but he has not heard from him and has stopped answering his calls. But Zhen's attorney, Emmanuel Williams, says Zhen is suing the brewery and Zhen in a civil matter that is already before the court. In that suit, Zhen is asking for the removal of the beers and for the brewery to pay for warehouse storage fees. Williams shared some details on how the two businessmen ended up in court.
The matter is still in its infancy, so there's not much I can state about the matter at this time. However, there is an agreement between the complainant and Mr. Zhen, and pursuant to that agreement, there was some bad faith between the parties, and the complaint was lodged, and subsequently my client was charged with the offense of obtaining property by the city. He is not to interfere with the witness, and they encourage him not to be in 100 feet of the witness and to visit the court every Friday until the conclusion of the matter.
Zhen must appear again in court on July 10th. Representatives from government departments that work with wildlife joined forces with the Crocodile Research Coalition earlier this week to capture a crocodile in Balama Phase 3. As we reported on Tuesday, a large croc spotted in the canal raised concerns among residents. These reptiles are known to inhabit the canal, but the size of the animal captured on video that day was enough for residents to call on authorities to capture and relocate it. Well, the team that set out to capture the crocodile was unable to locate it. They did, however, agree on one thing. The garbage pollution in the canal is leading crocodiles to venture closer to the properties of residents in the community. We spoke with Dr. Marissa Teles, the Executive Director of the Crocodile Research Coalition.
When that video of the crocodile from Balama first went on Facebook and everything, I was immediately contacted by colleagues, by residents, other concerned citizens, and I think a lot of people that were commenting on the Facebook page, they nailed the real issue. The issue is not the crocodile. The issue is the trash in that area. And we have to understand pollution overall. If you want to look at statistics, if you want to look at science, pollution is much more of a safety issue for the public than a crocodile, especially with a species that is not one of, quote unquote, by experts in the world, not considered a man-eater. Everyone knows that there's crocodiles in the city and everything, but if you want to make sure that a crocodile doesn't get too close to the street, if you want to make sure that the crocodile doesn't start habituating to humans, clean up the trash. Because what's happening is the trash is attracting raccoons, it's attracting the street dogs. You're pretty much baiting the crocodile at this point. So if the trash was cleaned up, most likely that large crocodile is not going to be in the area anymore. So this is a concern where, sure, can we relocate that animal? That's putting a Band-Aid on the situation. The real situation here is the pollution in that area. And so this is where education comes into play. And I know there's so many great organizations and communities out there that are really trying to clean up because they understand the concern about trash. But this is also like, where can government step in to assist with improving the waste management system?
Dr. Fernando Cuar was laid to rest today. The beloved medical professional dedicated his life to serving the nation in the private and public healthcare sectors. When he lost his battle to blood cancer in April, news of his passing sent waves of sorrow across the nation. As we reported, he passed away in the presence of his siblings at a hospital in the U.S. They have since returned to Belize to lay him to rest. This morning, his funeral procession stopped in front of the Carl Huchner Memorial Hospital, and the Belize Medical Associates, who are his former colleagues, got to say their final farewell. News 5's Paul Lopez reports.
Doctors and nurses at the KHMH formed a line in front of the hospital's entrance to pay respect to the late Dr. Fernando Cuar. He lost his battle to blood cancer in April while seeking medical attention in the U.S. This morning, a funeral procession carrying an urn with Dr. Cuar's remains passed in front of the hospital, where his former colleagues bade him farewell. Dr. Cuar's immediate relatives were there to greet the hospital staff. His son, Sean Cuar, shared a few words.
It's beautiful to see all these people here. I would never gauge the amount of people or the level of impact that he has had on this country. But by just seeing these people's faces out here, you begin to realize how much he meant to Belize and how much he cared for his work. Extremely thankful, even if it's just a simple message. It means so much. So much.
Dr. Cuar began his career at the Old Belize City Hospital on Eve Street. His last posting at the KHMH was in early 2002 as a member of the board of directors. Cuar's friend and former colleague, now Chief Executive Officer at KHMHA, Nurse Chandra Cancino, found it important to be present for the procession today.
As you are aware, Dr. Cuar was larger than life, and he really was a part of the medical community everywhere in the country. And he spent many years at Carl Huchner in several capacities as well. He was our emergency medicine, head of emergency medicine. Then he was the director of medical services. And so he served at Carl Huchner in many capacities, and even up until early this year, he was helping us to cover shifts at the intensive care unit when we needed. And so he was always serving, always helping. And so it was very important for the medical community here at Carl Huchner, who may not have the opportunity to go to the church, to bid him farewell.
CEO Cancino became overwhelmed with emotions while speaking about the impact Dr. Cuar had on her life as a healthcare provider.
Dr. Cuar was somebody that I considered my friend. He was one of the few persons that used to check on me when I got this job, always asking how I was doing. And so it's personal and it's professional. And I'm glad that we all got the opportunity to say goodbye.
After leaving the KHMH, the procession headed over to the Belize Medical Associates on St. Thomas Street. Dr. Cuar worked at the private healthcare facility for the last 23 years of his life. There, his former colleagues also gathered to bid him a final farewell. Reporting for News 5, I am Paul Lopez.
After the break, it's at STEAM Academy is officially launched. But first, here's the weather update with data from the National Meteorological Service.
For 19 years, SMART has been the pulse of our nation. A journey of growth, innovation, resilience, and unity.
From the first call that bridged distances to the data that brought us closer than ever, SMART has been there, weaving threads of connection across our beautiful land.
We have been active in providing innovative solutions to enhance our customers' lifestyles. Over the years, SMART has developed and provided various services to meet customers' needs.
To the dreamers, doers, and the believers, thank you for making SMART a part of your story. For 19 years of trust, loyalty, partnership, and shared experiences.
As we celebrate 19 years of connecting lives and dreams, let's keep the rhythm alive. Together, let's continue to shape our future one connection at a time.
Come and be a part of the SMART family, where we empower you and our country today, tomorrow, and beyond.
SMART, bringing people together.
This morning here in Belize City, government officials, including Prime Minister John Briceño and Education Minister Francis Fonseca, were on hand for the official opening of ITSAT STEAM Academy. The secondary school opened its doors to the first cohort of students at the start of the academic calendar in September of last year. News 5 was there for the official ribbon-cutting ceremony. Here's that story.
STEAM education is a holistic and interdisciplinary approach to learning that is crucial for high school students. At ITSAT STEAM Academy, young people are prepared with knowledge, skills, and integrated experiences in science, technology, engineering, arts, and mathematics to build a sustainable future for themselves and their communities. STEAM education encourages students to think creatively and apply their knowledge in innovative ways.
It's an absolutely exciting day for education in our country. We've talked for a long time about STEAM education and the critical importance of investing in STEAM education for the future development of Belize. And that's what the ITSAT STEAM Academy High School is all about. It's about providing a space in our education structure an education system for young people to develop the skills and aptitudes that they need to participate in the future of Belize's development.
With rapid technological advancements, STEAM programs such as the one offered at ITSAT help prepare students for future careers that require a blend of technical skills and creative thinking. It also emphasizes teamwork and collaboration, skills that are highly valued in the modern workforce.
That at ITSAT STEAM Academy, our ambition is to create a diverse and inclusive school community that inspires young people, including girls, those from marginalized social, economic, and cultural groups, those with special needs, to advance their knowledge and understanding of the world, and to engage in concrete actions that lead to the improvement not only of their lives, but the lives of those around them.
Construction for the new secondary institution began in September 2022 and was completed last year. The facility, with its 2 buildings, covers a total of 35,000 square feet. STEAM education allows for personalized learning experiences, catering to diverse interests and strengths of students.
We talk all the time about the green economy, the blue economy, the orange economy. Well, we can't just talk about it. We have to prepare our people to participate in that new economy, new emerging economy. And so education has to lead the way, and we have to be at the cutting edge of technology and science and arts. And so I'm very, very proud of the fact that, over the past 3 years, we have spent a lot of time and effort focused on this project.
ITSAT is the first school in the country designed in conformity with Excellence in Design for Greater Efficiency, or EDGE standards, for resource efficiency. It has a bioengineering lab, art room, media lab, maker studio, silent rooms, and typical collaborative learning rooms.
Our campus is not just this. Our campus is the wider community, and our students are engaging in it. And so at the end of this ceremony, you will get a chance to see some of these students in action. And again, remember their first formers. As you see them engaged in transformative mathematics that we call qualitative reasoning, as you see the robotics group. And I like to say, a school does not turn students into robots. A school is where students make robots out of Lego and machines and wires, and they show that we in Belize can really do some cutting-edge, technological, transformative action.
Reporting for News 5, I am Isana Cayetano.
Foreign Minister Francis Fonseca was in Guatemala recently on an official visit where he met with several diplomatic counterparts, including the Foreign Minister of Guatemala as well as the U.S. Secretary of State Antony Blinken. He was there to discuss the regional issue of migration, but took the opportunity to raise Belize's concern in the wake of the latest face-off between the Guatemalan Armed Forces and the Belize Defense Force on Sarstoon River.
I was in Guatemala from Monday to Wednesday, participating in the follow-up meeting of what they call the LA Los Angeles Declaration on Migration and Protection. The Prime Minister had attended the first meeting last year, and this was a follow-up meeting with foreign ministers from Central America, Latin America, and a few from the Caribbean as well, along with the U.S. Secretary of State, Secretary Blinken. So that's why I was there. So Belize was able to make a presentation on the challenges we are facing in terms of migration and border security. But I also used the opportunity as well to meet with representatives of the U.S. Secretary of State and the U.S. Homeland Security Department as well, to share with them some of these challenges. And of course, I had the opportunity to meet with my counterpart in Guatemala, the Guatemalan Foreign Minister. And we had a very frank, open dialogue. I, of course, raised the issue of, as you describe it, as these flare-ups that have been taking place. And I really think we had a very positive, constructive dialogue and discussion on this matter. I made it very clear Belize's position in terms of our sovereignty and territorial integrity. And I think we agreed that it was important for us to have a more structured approach to communicating, both at the military level and at the diplomatic level. But I think what's most important is that both the foreign minister and I agreed that these matters are to be resolved diplomatically.
Earlier this week, developer David Gegg appeared before the Senate's Special Select Committee, where he was grilled about the definitive agreement that was awarded under the previous administration. During his interrogation, Gegg, the principal of Portico Enterprises Limited, told the panel that a request for campaign financing was presented to him as a quid pro quo for the definitive agreement. The revelation once again has raised questions about the need for campaign finance legislation to be enacted. Prime Minister John Briceño shared his thoughts on the matter.
That's something that has to be we have to take a hard look at, and we've been trying to find ways on how we can come up with some form of campaign finance legislation, because there's no legislation. But it's important that we be able to put something that can work. The United States, for instance, as an example for the presidential elections, they have campaign finance legislation, and it's running them over $1 billion per candidate. Is that campaign finance, this legislation is working? Absolutely not. So we need to find one that can work. I wish we could find one that would limit the amount of ads that you give and T-shirts and everything else, because then it will make it easier for the political parties. So it's something that I support and we're looking at, and hopefully we can come up with something that can work for Belize.
It requires political will nonetheless, and you guys have a supermajority in the House.
But it's not about the political will, it's about having something that can work. As I said all along, it is something I support. Don't you think I'd want to be able to run a campaign that would spend maybe a fraction of what is necessary? Of course we would. And it would make it so much easier for all the political parties.
The Protected Areas Conservation Management Trust, PACT, is the subject of concerns being raised by APAMO. Representatives of the Umbrella Association met with Prime Minister John Briceño recently to discuss the future of PACT.
I met with APAMO and we, along with the minister, and we were discussing, not necessarily on the legislation. They were concerned about the future of PAC and in which direction it is going, and questioning whether the changing of the executive director was at the right time. The minister explained, and I think we have a good understanding on how to make sure that we can ensure that PAC works the way it was envisioned. To give you a little bit of history, the UDP implemented PAC, but it was under my care that PAC really became what the institution it was. And I remember when the past administration were making changes to the PAC legislation, I called to the minister back then and said, why are we making these changes? Because then you're opening it up for then even the government to be able to access funds. And he said, no, don't worry about it. And then here we are today. So yes, we need to take a look how we can continue to improve PAC.
When we return, Belizean chef gains culinary diploma alongside professionals.
Nestled away in the quaint Belize River Valley, Black Orchid's Panda River restaurant offers a variety of great dining areas and experiences with an excellent variety of local and international cuisine, with healthy meal options for vegans and those with health concerns. Your delectable dining can be topped off with our excellent desserts, natural fruit juices, and exquisite wine and drink options. All prepared by our certified chef and award-winning mixologist. Come to Panda River Restaurant and River Rum Bar to relax in the pool or use our excellent conference facilities combined with great dining.
A diamond in the jungle.
In May, make Benny's your one-stop shop for appliances. We have Sankey refrigerators, stoves, microwaves, washers and dryers, freezers, smart TVs, and so much more for up to 19% off. Get amazing deals for mom and appliances all May long, and don't forget your B-Bucks whenever you make a purchase to be a part of our Homecation raffle to win $10,000 in December. Benny's, quality and savings.
Unwrap the joy of crystal clear picture and sound from Iowa, the brand that offers you affordability and exceptional quality. Iowa has a wide range of exceptional products to choose from, such as TVs, speakers, headphones, home appliances, and much more at affordable prices that won't break the bank. Enhance your audio-visual entertainment experience with Iowa, and for your convenience, parts are readily available in country for hassle-free maintenance. You can find Iowa products at your local electronics store countrywide. Choose Iowa, the best in home entertainment and household appliances.
In late April, 12 Belizean chefs from across the country completed a diploma in a culinary arts program through the BTB, the Ministry of Education, and the Florida International University. Over the course of 9 sessions, these chefs were trained in various culinary skills with assistance from Belize's own Chef Sean Quilin, that is, who blended Belizean culture into the experience. We spoke with a recent graduate today to hear how they plan to make use of the knowledge and skills imparted to them. News 5's Brittany Gordon reports.
Part of Belize's reputation as a melting pot of cultures includes the wide variety of food offered throughout the country. Across various hotels, restaurants, and vendors, food tourism is a large contributor to Belize's economy. Thus, creating opportunities for more people to hone their skills in the kitchen is a necessary part of keeping Belizean chefs in business. Recently, 12 people were able to gain a diploma in a culinary arts program through the BTB, the Ministry of Education, and the Florida International University. Myrna Paul Greenidge chose not to become a professional chef, but wanted to join in on the experience to gain the skills and knowledge.
It was a culinary arts class, and it was a basic skills, learning about different aspects and techniques of cooking and preparation of food, and also doing safety, which is very important.
So how did you get involved in this program?
I got involved because I saw an advertisement from BTB. Kudos to the people at BTB, the minister for his vision and his entire team, Mr. Enriquez, who is the person that do all the training for the different aspects of hospitality in the country. Ms. Tracy, who was very helpful for us, for encourage us and get us to get this training completed.
The participants mastered a variety of skills, including cold food preparation and menu design. So I know you're not a chef by profession. What made you decide that, okay, I'm going to go and try this?
I have a passion for cooking. I'm really interested in being a barrister. And of course, you understand that there is a principle of preparation meeting opportunity. So I believe that we always have to learn new skills. That's how I became also a masseuse. So in that quest of trying to get self-development, that is how I end up in this course. And of course, I plan to use it at home and who knows, maybe sometime doing some catering.
Paul said that although this was all new to her, she was able to become adept through the guidance of her mentors and her fellow classmates.
Well, basically, you learn techniques and you don't take for granted, especially in food preparation, there is a lot of measures of safety that you have to take. The purchasing of the food, how you store your food, casting, if you're interested in being a chef, because many of my classmates were chefs, of course, and they're working already in restaurants or resorts. And it's very important because at the end of the day, we are able to handle food properly and be able to cast it and do everything that we need to do in a good measure.
She explained that the environment was welcoming to diverse participants, which only made her enthusiasm for the experience grow.
It was very inclusive and we had good integration because we were very helpful. Those who had a little bit more experience, we were able to gain from that because we did a lot of group sessions. We also had theory in the few months that we were doing it, and we were at the commissary at Boen & Boen. That is where we did the practice. I mean, level 4 kitchen. I mean, that's the best of the best, the top. So we were able to even be exposed to what is expected in a real scenario of a restaurant. So everybody pitching, we did several things. We had Chef Quilin with us. I mean, that was very interesting. Putting the Belizean flavor to the French cuisine, because that's basically what we learn a lot about.
The program began in June 2023 and concluded in April of this year. The BTB said that they are planning to make the course available again for more Belizeans to participate in. Paul said that she encourages Belizeans to participate so that they can become an asset to Belize's growing hospitality industry.
The course is very interesting and it's a way of enhancing your skills, and of course, the better prepared people are for the hospitality and to serve the tourists, I think that is a plus for Belize, and I think that everybody, you shouldn't just be educated or just, you should be very much in tune to what you're doing and have the skills and the qualifications to back it up.
Brittany Gordon for News 5.
In April, there was an increase in road traffic accidents across the country, many of which involved the deaths of motorcyclists. It's alarming, and the Ministry of Economic Development wants to curb the number of traffic fatalities. A program specifically designed to spread awareness of motorcycle safety is expected to be launched soon. News 5's Brittany Gordon has the first look.
I was on the roundabout heading home when I saw this car just merging into the roundabout as well. I thought it would stop as it's supposed to, right? But it didn't stop, so that's when it hit the back of my bike. Then I went flying into the air, and at that moment, the only thing I could do was put my hands down to protect myself as well as I can. Because of the lack of protective gear, I suffered some really deep cuts, some abrasions, really bad scrapes. The nurses really had to clean me out really well. They had to scrub all my injuries. That was one of the worst experiences and worst pains I've ever felt.
If you've noticed an alarming increase in road traffic incidents across the country, you're not alone. April alone registered a record number of road traffic fatalities, several of which involved motorcyclists. To address the increase in these incidents, the Ministry of Economic Development launched its second phase of the Belize Road Safety Initiative, which works to increase public safety on the road through the spread of information and training. Sylvia Neal, Office Administrator of the project, spoke with us today about the initiative.
We deal with initiatives such as a road user and education awareness component. We have an enforcement component. We have post-crash care as one of the components. And many of our activities, they go under one of these components. No? And the basic idea is, again, to improve road safety in Belize, build the awareness of everybody in Belize, and to improve the culture on a whole.
Neil said that the team has observed an increase in the number of motorcycle crashes and is preparing to launch a campaign specifically geared towards motorcycle safety.
It's more of an educational campaign because we do have various campaigns geared towards speeding, geared towards not drinking and driving. We have been rolling out many of those campaigns as the year has progressed up to now. No? And the specific campaign that I am referring to with regards to the motorcycle riders or users is basically one that we are still undergoing right now, and that includes developing flyers, pamphlets, and then of course we have the videos that we try to send out to the media and also post on our social platform on the Facebook pages and TikToks and whatnot. No?
Also working on the project is member of the Belizean Youth for Road Safety, Tracy Brown, who was trained by the team to educate drivers and assist in making Belize's roads safer.
So now we have more people wanting to know about road safety. They're interested in learning about road safety. So a big part of what we do is share important messages for fellow drivers and also people, just road users on a whole, not only drivers.
How about when it's closer to the holidays? Do you guys increase your efforts around that time in order to combat, the increase of traffic and alcohol usage?
Yes. A big part of what we do, we around those times, we would spread more messages like the infographics and commercials geared around those times because there's a spike of crashes and incidents around those times. So we tend to push more messages around those times, especially for people drinking and driving, wearing helmets and seatbelts.
The Road Safety Initiative also aids in promoting road safety through training of public service members who operate vehicles daily. Kirshner Ramirez from the Department of Transportation shared his experience with the program.
It gives a lot more knowledge on a broader sense to basically educate the public and have the public have an insight of what really traffic and what basically everything that has to do with traffic on the road and the highways, the vehicles, etc., etc. It gives more knowledge to them through the work that we're doing. So I praise these guys for basically having this energy to do this kind of work for us, so that the public can have more knowledge of what's going on.
Ramirez said that the initiative is a noble cause, as lives can be saved through the sharing of information, no matter how small.
To tell you the truth, I would have to go with educating the public. Like I said, we in Belize tend to have a tendency, me working on the ground in the field, and you stop and check these guys at the checkpoint scene. They give you information like, oh, we didn't know this, we didn't know that, we didn't know this, So with these guys, influentials, bringing these flyers out and educating the youths them from a younger age and even the adults, it's a beautiful thing. I think it's one of the best things we've been doing since years. We're just trying to promote more safety, and more safety, because of the fact that exactly what you just said, we've been seeing a lot more higher percentage in these incidents, especially on the motorbikes, and it's sad. It leaves family broken, kids alone, and it's a sad thing. So,
as the number of drivers on the road increases, Neil reminds motorists to be diligent and abide by traffic laws.
So motorcyclists, we urge our motorcycle riders to try and wear proper helmets, right? Wear the fully covered helmets, the ones that fully cover your face, DOT certified helmets, because those are the ones that are going to better protect you in case you crash, in case of a collision, right? It fully protects your head from head injuries, right? And we don't want to see people riding with helmets on their handles, right? Because the helmet isn't really there just for style. It's really something to help protect you, right, from impact. So we ask that you wear your seatbelt, lock it, reduce speeding, don't overtake around curves, and don't engage in improper overtaking at any time, right? So we just ask you to continue being safe, because one life lost is one too many.
Brittany Gordon for News 5.
Up next in tonight's episode of On the Bright Side, Eden Seventh-day Adventist is being more healthy.
Last year, around this same time, when the country was hit by an energy crisis, Briceño admitted he and his government knew well in advance it was coming.
This problem did not arise now. This was coming from before.
Exactly.
And whenever I speak with the CEO of BL, he was telling me, I've been alerting from before that this problem is coming.
Yet they did nothing to avert it and ensure that BEL has secure, adequate and reliable sources of power.
So CFE, Comisión de Electricidad Federal, said to us, to BL, and said, one, said, listen, if this thing continues, we are going to be short. And so we may have to consider cutting you for a short while.
1 year later, the same energy crisis is back again, and they still have not done anything to address it. Back then, Briceño even conceded the energy crisis resulted from the lack of vision and foresight by his own government.
The problem, again, is a lack of vision and foresight from the side of the government, in the sense that the government a long time ago should have stepped in, because we know that there's this feud between BL and PUC.
Nothing has changed, and with this government, nothing ever will.
Upcoming enhancements to My Social Security. The new healthcare provider feature seamlessly connects healthcare providers, insured persons, and employers to facilitate the payment of sickness benefits. Here are the enhancements. Registered healthcare providers will create and submit online medical certificates using their healthcare provider accounts. Insured persons will receive a link to view the medical certificate to complete and submit their sickness benefit claim. And employers will receive an email notification of their employee's sickness claim. Also, the insured person and their employer will receive a copy of the claim decision letter after review. Healthcare providers, insured persons, and employers are encouraged to create a portal account to access and benefit from these new services on My Social Security at ssbportal.org.bz. My Social Security online portal. Social Security at your fingertips.
For 19 years, SMART has been the pulse of our nation. a journey of growth, innovation, resilience, and unity.
From the first call that bridged distances to the data that brought us closer than ever, SMART has been there, weaving threads of connection across our beautiful land.
We have been active in providing innovative solutions to enhance our customers' lifestyles. Over the years, SMART has developed and provided various services to meet customers' needs.
To the dreamers, doers, and the believers, thank you for making SMART a part of your story. For 19 years of trust, loyalty, partnership, and shared experiences.
As we celebrate 19 years of connecting lives and dreams, let's keep the rhythm alive. Together, let's continue to shape our future one connection at a time.
Come and be a part of the SMART family, where we empower you and our country today, tomorrow, and beyond.
SMART, bringing people together.
For the past few months, the Ministry of Education's More campaign has been rolled out across the country, highlighting schools doing more through 5 main pillars. Schools across the region eagerly submitted their accounts of how they've surpassed expectations in these areas. Among the standout submissions was Eden SDA Primary School, whose exemplary efforts we're excited to showcase tonight. One particularly inspiring aspect of Eden SDA's commitment was its holistic approach to promoting healthy dietary habits among students. Their dedication to not just healthier eating, but a vegetarian lifestyle caught our immediate attention. Sabrina Daly found out more in this week's Look on the Bright Side.
On the Bright Side is brought to you by Ministry of Education, Culture, Science and Technology, and UNICEF.
Ava, what's inside your burrito?
Beans, vegetables, cheese, meat.
Meat. And you like it? Is it yummy? And why do you like your burrito?
I like it because it tastes nice.
Reactions of approval from the student body as children munch their afternoon meal prepared by the school's cafeteria. Only Ava and Zaya have no idea that it's not meat in their burrito.
What's inside that burrito if there's no meat? Because the burrito has meat in there.
It has soy meat, coleslaw, and beans.
Eden SDA Primary School is one of 40 primary schools across the country benefiting from the Ministry of Education's Healthy Start School Feeding Program. The initiative was developed to ensure that every child receives a nourishing meal during the school day.
Our students spend a lot of time on school campuses, so that's our goal as a ministry, to enable all of our campuses to make it easier for children to be healthy.
The World Health Organization reports a significant rise in global obesity, affecting over 1 billion people, with rates doubling in adults and quadrupling in children and adolescents since 1990. While undernutrition persists as a major concern in regions like Southeast Asia and Sub-Saharan Africa, the Caribbean faces the challenges of high rates of underweight and obesity. This was just one of the conditions in mind when the Ministry of Education considered a way to enforce healthier eating habits within schools, according to Kathleen Juan.
We offer to the schools the opportunity for every student in the school to get a free meal. Now, some schools are able to do that because they have the capacity with their kitchens and their cooks. Because we want every student to be getting the same meal, and it's a healthy meal. We're looking to kind of use positive peer pressure. Oh, all of the students are eating this, so I'll eat it too. Even if I don't really like fruits or vegetables, this is the school meal, it's healthy, I'll eat it. We are also working on the sugar, sweet, and beverage ban pilot with the Ministry of Health, so that's another component. We're asking schools, stop selling Cokes and sugar, sweetened beverages, give the children a healthier choice instead, because we need these children not only to be healthy now, but the choices and what they're learning now is hopefully going to follow them into adulthood so that they are healthier adults.
The implementation of this initiative could not come at a better time, if you ask Eden SDA Primary School's principal, Sharon Carr Lopez.
Most of the times our kids used to come to school without eating because we do have kids who come from low-income families. And so when we learned of it, we said, this is our chance. And so from January of this year, we started the feeding program with the help of the ministry. It has been a blessing.
This was also an added opportunity for the school to enforce the spiritual belief that the healthiest meal is one without meat.
One of the principles that we have for the Seventh-day Adventist Church or schools around the world is that we don't offer meat on campus. Most schools, right, don't offer meat on campus. And we look at it because we want the child to be spiritually minded, we want the child to be healthy, and so we are used to more natural foods.
Aiden Landero expressed that he was never big on eating his veggies, but with his school removing meat from the menu, he has grown accustomed to the change.
Before, I didn't really used to like much veggies, but since they started giving it almost every day, it's only natural that I started to like it. Sometimes I do miss the meat, but since they give veggies and other stuff, they're also very healthy, so I don't really miss it too much.
What we tell the principals is it's okay if the kids aren't really happy with it at first, but just keep providing them the chance, the opportunity to get more familiar with the fruits and the vegetables in the hopes that they will start accepting it. Because what we find is that the kids are telling us, well, we don't get a lot of fruits and vegetables on our campus, so we don't eat it during the day because it's not there. We're saying, give it to them, have it be there for them, let them make that choice, and you might be surprised by the kids how much they are willing to accept it and how much they enjoy it.
Eden SDA Primary was also recognized for going the extra mile and adding an additional free meal for its student population of approximately 300. Every morning, each student gets to start the school day with a fruit juice or a fruit bowl.
When the feeding program came in, we said, well, this is our chance. Let's do the juicing or the fruit slices as well in the morning so that the kids can have. And we have kids who come to school and they don't eat. But the reason why, because Ms. Huang mentioned that we could have chosen which meal to have given the students. But we chose lunch because most times kids don't have the time to go home and eat, and even if they go home and eat, there's nothing there because nobody's at home, and so we prefer doing lunch for them. And so having that juice in the morning or a healthy snack and lunch, I mean, you can't ask for more, right?
And this all-encompassing idea of health and wellness does not stop there. From a playground for the energetic children to backyard gardening that ensures the feeding program's sustainability, Eden SDA Primary is an example of doing more and being more healthy. Looking on the bright side, I'm Sabrina Daly.
On the Bright Side was brought to you by Ministry of Education, Culture, Science and Technology and UNICEF.
And that's the news. Tonight's broadcast is available at channel5belize.com on both our Facebook and YouTube. I'm Adeline Apollonia. From all of us here at News 5, have a happy and safe weekend. Good night.